Hello and welcome to Your Questions Answered with Father Gruner. I'm John Veneri, and this program is one in which we take your questions that you send to us via email. We answer them, we discuss them. Continue, please, to email us with your questions and comments at questions@thefatimacenter.com. You can see it on the screen. We have a question here from a viewer who says, I notice your website and literature do not promote the Luminous Mysteries. Why not?
Well, first of all, we don't promote the luminous mysteries, not because they're bad in themselves. Certainly the spiritual writers tell us to meditate on any aspect of our Lord's life. So whether we meditate on the Last Supper, which is a great meditation, or on Lord's baptism, or his transfiguration, or some other aspect of his life, including, I've just mentioned several of the luminous mysteries, or any other aspect not mentioned luminous, our Lord curing a blind man or a dumb man. All of these things are worthwhile for our benefit. He's teaching us something not in what he says and what he does. And so they're worthwhile for us to meditate, including the luminous mysteries. However, Our Lady chose to pick out 15 aspects of our Lord's and her life for us to particularly meditate on in the Rosary. And so when she says at Fatima that for the first Saturday, she asks that you spend 15 minutes meditating on the 15 mysteries of the Rosary. Which mysteries, the luminous mysteries, are going to replace? The joyful mysteries? The sorrowful mysteries? The glorious? No. I always say, so the luminous mysteries are another Rosary. It's not the Dominican Rosary. It's not the Rosary mentioned at Fatima. So we promote the Fatima message. We promote the 15 mysteries, the 15 mysteries that Our Lady gave to St. Dominic, Our Lady gave to Blessed Ellen, Our Lady is given and endorsed through miracles down through and endorsed with 15 promises for the 15 mysteries. So we're promoting Fatima. So I'm not against people meditating on some other aspect of our Lord's life. I do that myself. It's not a crime. It's a good thing to do. But it's not part of the mysteries of the Rosary, that's all.
Well, a couple points about this too we should probably mention. That is the fact that people think that the luminous mysteries are some sort of mandatory thing. I think that John Paul himself, he didn't mandate it, he just offered them.
He offered them. Secondly, for example, people may not know, the Franciscans have the 7 joys of Our Lady. It's a beautiful devotion, and they meditate on the 7 joys of Our Lady. The Servite Fathers, on the other hand, have this mystery, 7 sorrows of Our Lady, and they have a rosary for meditating on 7 sorrows. So is it wrong for the Franciscans to meditate on the 7 joys? No. Is it wrong for the Servite Fathers to meditate on the 7 sorrows? No. It's a good thing for both of us to do all of that. But they are not the mysteries, what is commonly known as the Rosary. Okay, so in turn, and yes, and John Paul II had to know that, and he said, we're not commanding it, we're suggesting it. So fine. He likes those things. I might suggest, if I give a spiritual conference, or if I give some spiritual direction or something like that, I could recommend someone meditate on or think about a particular aspect of life, which I think is useful for that particular soul or that group of people. But it's not in my authority or my power, or even the Pope's, to change Our Lady's 15 mysteries of the Rosary.
Well, another aspect that's lost is if people get the idea that the luminous mysteries are actually part of the Rosary, then the Rosary is no longer 15 decades, it is 20 decades.
Yes.
And we go back to what Our Lady herself said to St. Dominic about the battering ram against heresy is my Psalter.
Yes.
And the Psalter she's referring to the Psalter of David, which are 150 Psalms.
Yes.
And so when you have...
So when you have 50 mysteries of 10 decades, 10 Hail Marys in every mystery...
You have 150 Hail Marys to correspond, as it were, to each of the 150 Psalms.
Yes.
And that whole structure is confused and lost once you would claim that the Rosary is now actually 20 decades.
Yes, there's many reasons, I'm sure, some which we've never even thought of, John, but it's not the Rosary, that's as simple as that. Yeah. And so why do I not promote it? Because it's not part of the Fatima message. And Our Lady's promises for the 15 promises for the Rosary, if you pray the Rosary, she's talking about the 15 mysteries, that she will get, if you fall into heresy, and a lot of people have fallen into heresy today, and if you fall into vice, if you continue praying the Rosary, she'll pull you out of heresy, she'll pull you out of vice. So that's for that. I'm not saying she's not pleased with you meditating on the other mysteries, but it's not part of the promises.
Well, another thing that I noticed with it, and this stirs people up now and then, but I'll say it anyway, is that Our Lady said, at Fatima, I want you to pray a third of the rosary.
Yeah.
And a third of the 15-decade rosary is 5 decades.
Yes.
A third of the 20-decade rosary is 6.66
Yes.
decades, and we're not terribly fond of that number.
No, exactly. Yes.
So we keep to the 15 decades of the rosary and the 15 promises, the 15 minutes, that meditation on the 5 first Saturdays, and the 150 rosaries that correspond.
150 Hail Marys.
150, thank you. 150 Hail Marys that correspond to the 150 Psalms of David, and thus Our Lady herself, to St. Dominic, calls it my Psalter, Our Lady's Psalter.
Yes.
So with that, we will close, and we will see you on the next program.